beat goes on.
On a warm midsummer day in 1976, Mashpee Wampanoag families gathered at Mashpee Pond for a community feast and to celebrate their culture.
We was up at 12 acres because the guys had basically just finished doing the village up there. And it was something, I wish it was still there because it was something that was put together. It was museum quality. I mean, the way the longhouse was built, the weetos, the farm, the garden towers, you know, the picnic area, the open area, the fire pit. I mean, it was really a nice place. So we was up there because it was something that we enjoyed. It was something we was proud of.
Get a nice get-together going, and you cook some food, go down the bay, get clams, quahogs, whatever, make a nice chowder. And everybody started talking and goes, oh shoot, you know, guys went off in different directions going, okay, we'll go get some corn. We'll go get, then some of the guys went off hunting. Some of the guys went down the bay, we all gathered up and we put this thing together and we said, oh, we're gonna have this thing up on 12 acres. And
we went fin fishing, we were picking mussels, we went quahogging, we were preparing food, we were cooking, you know, we were all pitching in, getting firewood.
I was sitting next to a fire and there was some clam cakes being made by Derek Mills, and I was waiting for them to be ready and just taking it all in. There was a lot of people there.
You know, the drum would be there, and so we're just going to go up there and have a good time.
I remember being there with a bunch of people eating. There was a gathering there during the day too and stuff. And I had went home to my mother's house, and then I came back out.
The drum was very important because we started talking about what it meant and stuff, you know, the heartbeat of the people and stuff like that. And that rang really strong to everybody and go, so this is who we are. And the drum that we had back during that day, it was a drum and it had Wampanoag Nation on it.
Mashpee gets its name from this place. We're at the top of Mashpee River at the head of the river on Mashpee Pond up on the hill, which was, you know, the ancient center of Mashpee, and I'm a Mashpee. I had every right to be there, of course.
Unknown to the young drummers, a perfect storm of controversy was brewing on Cape Cod that summer. The celebrated sounds of tribal tradition that rippled across Mashpee Pond that night fell on the ears of those who perceived their beat of the drum as a threat.
On the night in July 1976, we were having a feast that day, and we were singing regularly, you know, singing social songs, powwow songs, some 49s, some round dances. It was a social event for sure.
Like everything that was, you know, the drumming and stuff, you know, it happened into the night, but not, they wasn't drumming when the police came up there. Now, everything was quiet. Everybody was like bunking down and headed home, and you know, it was very peaceful. It was just like people sitting around a fire, you know, just talking and stuff like that, and was no, you know, a lot of noise or anything like that. It was very calm. Like I said, I was on my way home, walking down a path. That's when I ran into Percy Kennedy.
And I went back up there was people drumming and stuff. But there was only a few people left from the people that was there during the day. There might have been a dozen of us there.
And it was a hot night. It was a real muggy hot night. So I only had one car at the time. My wife had it, so I was walking home. And I could hear right by 12 acres there, you know, I could kind of hear the drum. Wasn't real loud, but it sounded nice. It was a drum, and it was, you know, and it was And you could see a little flicker in the sky of the fire. There was a fire going up there.
Well, the parking lot that I came into, the Legion parking lot, it was Percy there. There was no squad car. There was just him there. And that's why I was like baffled. I didn't know, you know, and all of a sudden, you know, you seen cop cars pull in and you seen cop cars go up the road, and there was nothing but any traffic that was on that road that time. It was all police cars.
All of a sudden, I just happened to like look out the, you know, out of the front of the car, and I see these bodies coming out of the shadow, and I look and I'm like, what the? And I look, and it just happened to be Sonny Joseph, Harry, and he had a cop flanked on either side of him, you know, holding him by his arm, bringing him, you know, coming out of the shadow. And I'm like, what the hell?
Next thing I know, I see lights and I hear dogs in the woods.
The reason I stayed there because they said, I know that we hadn't done nothing wrong. I said, well, why am I going to run? You know, I said, so I was the first one arrested.
Then next thing you know, I look to my right and I see 2 or 3 cops run by. And I'm like, what? And then the door flies open and the cop is like, get out of the car.
You're under arrest. I said, for what? Disturbing the peace. So they handcuffed me right there on the spot. They handcuffed me and I sat back down on the ground. So I had a ringside seat for the whole thing. And I'm watching them chase the guys through the woods. And of course, my guys, they all scattered when they seen the riot gear and the helmets, the big glass shields they had, bigger shields and big nightsticks. They had dogs on leashes, you know, and I thought, what in the devil is going on? I couldn't believe it. I could not believe what was going on.
When I saw Percy, I knew he was a Falmouth police officer because I knew him. And I was wondering, what are you doing in Mashpee? You know? And that's what he said. He said, well, yeah, the sergeant of the police department, Mashpee, the police department, said we're to arrest everybody in this area.
And they just started piling guys into the paddy wagon, piling them in one after another, smacking the guys with the nightsticks too, you know. They called us all kind of names, you know, just terrible stuff, you know.
But as we were being escorted to the police, to the paddy wagon, the police were hollering at me about things like, this is payback for Custer, or you know, this is you know, they mentioned Geronimo's name and different issues, you know, different famous Indian warriors of American history that I didn't understand what the connection was here, but apparently that, you know, they were aware of it, and or they were creating a connection like, okay, you know, you might have got us at Little Bighorn, but we're getting you now. And I was mystified and dumbfounded.
Within the Native community, the high-profile case of the Mashpee Nine became a dedicated campaign for vindication and social justice. The Mashpee Nine and their supporters refused to sacrifice their traditions on a political battlefield. They fought to recover their dignity and their right to celebrate being Mashpee Wampanoag. This is their story.
The beat goes on. The beat goes